This is Chapter 2, Part B, or Part 2, however you want to call this thing, continuing with strings with it. Two things I want you to be able to understand is the position and the length. So if I ask you to do a position, what is a position of a particular string? Start counting with 0. If I ask you to count what is the length of a particular string, you're going to count starting with 1, so on. The second point is that you need to be able to, in order for you to do any string manipulations with a string data type with this, you have to have a pound include IO, not IOStream. I'm so sorry, not IOStream. I meant to say string. Okay, so that's what you need. All right, so you need to have that. So in order for this to work with this thing, my apology. The next part I like for you to know, if you flip over to understand the different type of and chapter 2 kind of spreads itself pretty thinly with this thing. One of the problems I cover with you, an example, is the reading in is the number of int, 3, taking 3 average numbers divided into 3, or the length and the width with this. There's an example I'd like for you to know is on page 64, and example, make sure you understand example 2-17, how to read in a certain number when you prompt the user with this. In this case, they're doing cin, the insertion of feet and inches with it. All right, I'm sorry, extraction of the feet and the inches with it. So make sure you understand how you read data into it as well. So that's that, and let's see here. Good. All right. This is the part where I need for you to. I'm going to talk to you about the increment. I need for you to do the on top of page 50. Understand what is increment and what is a decrement operator. So, for example, and decrement. So, what does it mean when you actually have such as C++? So versus something that is ++ C. So what this means is that this is a post-decrement, post-increment. So here's the variable, and here is after that you're changing the value for it. This is what's considered pre-increment. All right. So you do it before what the value is, and I would like to demonstrate this for you. Please read this page to page 70 to page 70 and 71. And when you look at both of these things, here's what I would like for you to do. In this program, as we set this thing up, I already have a kind of like a page for you to. I set up this project already. So if you could for me, if you can just follow along with me on this one, and you see what I'm talking about. So here's what I would like for you to do. If you could for me, inside of this program right now, just put in your skeleton, your basic skeleton is what I have, and I'm going to go into this thing just to demo. I'm going to demonstrate a pre and a post increment to a variable. Alright, so inside this variable right now, we'll comment this out. The first part I'm going to do is a post increment, and we're going to compile and take a look, post increment test. Alright, inside of this thing, what I'd like for you to do, just give that an int, n equal to 10. I'd like for you to do a cout for me. Let's do this thing so we can see this properly. Let's out with this thing. So let's do a cout post in the string post increment test. Okay, and I'm going to give it a n is equal to 10, and then underneath it I want to do a cout of what is the n. Right? So if I did a cout at this time, inside my n variable at this time is this. So I put my n, okay, there with it. Now I want to take this same line that I have right here. So if I did cout, that should give me a what? So it's 10, right? This time I'm going to say increment. I'm going to do, the first one is going to be a post increment. I'm going to post increment the n with that. Okay, so I'm going to just over here, I'm going to do plus plus. So to show you that the 10 comes in as a 10, and this, if I did this right, the output for this first one should be what? Should still be a 10, even though this is changing to 11. Okay, that you see. Wait, and then we're going to do another one of this stuff. Okay, so I'm going to do the statement after in this thing. So I'm going to say something along the line, output the post increment. So what is this going to have right here? Okay, I haven't done this yet. Okay, so I'm going to do one of them. The second one I like to do is the pre-increment test. So here's my pre-increment test. I'm going to come into the I want to give this another cout. I'm going to do, just let you know that this is, instead I'm going to take, let me snag this thing. Do this, I'm going to do pre-increment test. So we know it's going to be a header with that. Now, I want to do an int, let's do m is equal to 10. So we have something else, another variable to look at. Now, I want to do the same thing. I'm going to take, instead of calling some of the stuff, I'm just going to copy and paste so we can save some time in here with it. So cout inside my m variable, I should have a 10 right here. Would you agree if I did an m here? Now, if I did a post increment, I'm not going to do a post. This is what I consider as a pre-increment. I'm going to move these two coming over here. I'm going to put this in the front of it like this. I'm going to move this sign over here and make that as plus m. And then I'm going to output my m again as my variable output to my pre-increment. Okay. So let's take a look at this thing. Control, save this thing. I'm going to give this another cout, separate the line between these things so it makes a cleaner output for this thing. Okay, let's do that, and we can do this same right here so it just has a better clean to it. Control S to save it. Control F5 to. Alright, let's take a look at this, how this thing compiles. Alright. Let me magnify this a little bit. Let's look. Post increment test. Inside my n variable, which is 10, I post increment this thing, so I'm outputting is just the 10 right now. You agree? And then it changes to 11, which happens in the next line where I have the n outputting this thing. Down in my pre-increment, I would actually have my m is 10, and then I need to change, actually this needs to be an m, right? And then my pre-increment to m. Alright, let me save this one more time, close this out, and control save, let's control F5, save, let's try and get the right proper syntax for the same. Alright, so I have my m now it's to 11, and my second one's 11. So what does this mean? It means that the way it's reading from left to right, pre-increment moves it to already to 11. And then I output this thing as my 11. The reason I want to say this is you will see this is more important when we actually look at loops, pre-loop and post-test loops with this stuff. Alright? So I'd like for you to understand and know that and be able to see the size of the iterations with it. And that's what this hands-on is about with this thing. So I'm running out of time here, so hang on.